Welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining us today. We're going to embark on this wild journey together, tracking the jump from total legacy chaos to what our sources are calling a data-driven, invincible state. Look, whether you're out there hustling for new clients or trying to wrangle massive, sprawling operational budgets, the modern business landscape, well, it's pretty unforgiving if you're stuck in the dark. But as we'll see in the data today, AI is literally changing the whole game. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive into this. On the surface, what do a boutique architecture firm designing custom homes, a massive law firm fighting corporate battles, and an infrastructure crew building a billion-dollar metro line have in common? Honestly, it sounds like the setup to a joke, right? But across all these different spaces, these managers are suffering from the exact same pain point. They are digitally invisible and honestly, operationally chaotic. They're leaning on manual, old-school methods in a world that absolutely demands instant, data-driven precision.
So let's start by looking at the front end, actually getting clients in the door. This quote right here perfectly nails what we call the architect's dilemma. You've got immense talent, right? You've been grinding away, perfecting this jaw-dropping portfolio, but it's just sitting there, gathering digital dust. Your phone stays eerily quiet, and relying just on word of mouth or hoping past clients remember you, it's kind of a losing strategy nowadays. Talent without visibility just doesn't pay the bills. And the numbers actually back this up. Get this. A staggering 65% of architects openly admit they're struggling to land clients. 65%. When you're fighting tooth and nail for attention, a beautiful portfolio just isn't enough anymore. Potential clients are flocking straight to your competitors, the ones with a stellar online presence and top-tier search rankings. Your masterpiece is basically getting lost in the noise because, to the digital world, you're essentially invisible. But here's the thing. Being invisible isn't just a front-end marketing problem, it's a massive operational catastrophe. Let's pivot to the back end for a second. Take a look at this number, 4.6 trillion rupees. That's not a typo. That is the massive scale of cost overruns across 350 delayed large-scale infrastructure projects in India just as of 2023. Why? Simply because of manual planning, static risk models, and just not being able to see disruptions coming. Traditional management is, quite literally, costing trillions.
Moving right along to Section 1, Supercharging Local Visibility.
So how do we actually fix this invisibility problem? The sources show us two very different approaches here. The old way of lead gen? It relies on pouring massive amounts of time, energy, and cash into endless advertising. It's disruptive, it's incredibly expensive, and the second you stop paying, boom, the leads dry up. But then there's the AI way. This allows firms to build a massive network of optimized pages that catch organic search traffic. And get this, with zero ongoing ad spend. It pulls in the exact people who are actively searching for what you do. To really put this into perspective, look at this case study data. Using AI, one single company cranked out 13,550 hyper-targeted lead pages simultaneously. And here's the real kicker. 52% of those pages hit page 1 of search engines in just 1 month. No way, right? They got 135 times more output, and it was 27 times cheaper than doing it the old way. The data is pretty clear. If you build it with AI, they will come.
Let's break down how this actually works in practice, because you don't need to be some enterprise giant to pull this off. AI gives small teams huge capabilities. Step 1. AI tools instantly analyze thousands of local keywords. Step 2. AI totally optimizes your Google business profile. Step 3. Tools like ChatGPT jump in and draft up hyperlocal landing pages and FAQs. And Step 4. Automated CRM tools nurture all those new leads while you're literally asleep. What used to take hours now takes minutes. It's a real game changer.
Let's jump into Section 2, Mastering Complex Project Operations.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer impact on the bottom line. AI brings the clients to your door, sure, but what happens once you actually win the job? Moving from marketing to back-end execution, the hard ROI becomes incredibly clear. We aren't talking abstract theories here. This is real enterprise-grade automation. Notice the data. AI-driven workflows and predictive analytics can drop manual interventions so drastically that operational costs plummet by up to 70%. Oh, and processing speeds? They shoot up by 85%.
Let's ground this with a major academic study on the Indian construction sector. AI isn't some far-off sci-fi concept. It's happening right this second. 72% of the firms surveyed are already using AI for risk assessment to dodge budget overruns. 65% use it for project planning, like automating their schedules. And 61% are relying on AI to dynamically model project delays before they happen.
They are quite literally using data to look into the future.
And the real-world wins from this are just phenomenal. Firms are using tools like nplan to compare their schedules against thousands of historic projects just to catch delays early. They're using Cleopatra Enterprise to predict bulk material cost swings way better than any spreadsheet ever could. Some even saved nearly 10% on procurement during a massive steel shortage just by letting AI find a safe alternate vendor. Plus, tools like OpenSpace use computer vision to spot structural errors in real time. It's wild.
Okay, but let's be real for a second and look at the full picture. Adopting AI definitely has its growing pains. It's not perfectly smooth sailing. 58% of firms report struggling to integrate AI with their clunky legacy systems. 51% point to the high upfront cost, which is super tough for smaller shops. And 45% run into worker resistance. People worry about surveillance or things like algorithmic bias. Like AI HR systems totally missing out on highly skilled workers just because they were informally trained. These are very real hurdles.
Moving on to Section 3, climbing the maturity curve.
So those hurdles we just talked about, they prove that technology alone isn't some magic wand. Firms need a real roadmap. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly that. It's the data maturity model, originally developed by Barretts and Brunel for law firms, but it applies everywhere. It maps out 5 distinct stages: data blind, data aware, data proficient, data savvy, and finally, data driven. Progressing through this is how you turn scattered data into your absolute best strategic asset.
The big question is, where do you stand? If you're data blind, well, everything's manual and siloed. Moving up to data aware means you finally have a roadmap. By the time you hit data proficient, you're comfortably in the cloud with some basic automations running. Then there's data savvy, where you're proactively chasing opportunities with a totally collaborative culture. And the absolute pinnacle, data driven, means you are leveraging predictive insights and firm-wide automation to consistently crush the competition.
But here's the catch. To reach those top tiers, you can't just buy fancy software. You have to tackle the human element. Cultivating a real data culture is absolutely crucial. You could have the best AI in the world, but if your partners or support staff refuse to share data, you're stuck in a silo. Actually, moving to the top requires intentionally breaking down those silos, setting up solid data governance, and tying these data efforts directly to performance. It's a whole cultural shift.
And that brings us to Section 4, your AI-first future. We've seen how AI targets leads, and we've seen how it predicts operational risks. The bridge connecting all of this is your firm's data maturity. Let's drive this contrast home one last time. A legacy firm is invisible to search engines, highly reactive to the market, and completely data blind. They're basically just relying on luck and spreadsheets. But an AI-first firm, according to the data, they become invincible. They pull in organic traffic on autopilot, use predictive analytics to dodge delays, and are thoroughly data-driven. They don't just participate in their market, they command it.
So I want to leave you with this provocative challenge today. Take a really hard, honest look at your own operations. Where does your firm truly sit on that data maturity scale? Are you taking the steps to weave AI into your marketing and your project management? Because the reality couldn't be clearer. You absolutely must adapt, or you risk letting your incredible talent and potential gather digital dust. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this sparks the beginning of your own AI journey.